There we go. Okay. All right. We have a beautiful woman here that came into my sphere and has just graciously offered to share her wisdom and her beautiful work with women. And what she's going to talk about today is spot on about everything that's coming up for the feminine at this moment. So my intention for these lives is to keep it between 10-15 minutes at the most, so it's digestible and easy to listen to, won't take a lot of time. So I would love to introduce Shela Roles here, and she's going to tell us about her beautiful work and then share some of her wisdom. So welcome, Shela.
Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy day of Mercury, as I'm trying to currently reclaim these days. So I'm Shela Roles, as you introduced me. Thank you so much. I'm the owner of Empowered Living, and I have been a nutritionist, a personal trainer, just a holistic health coach for 13 years now. And I've actually transitioned my business over this year, realizing Spirit really spoke to me and was like, no, like it's time to leave these things behind. This is getting you to who you're supposed to be, which is an intuitive healer. So I bring astrology in to help guide the woman into reconnecting with her soul, because our birth chart and our human design absolutely gives us a roadmap for taking care of our physical body, our emotional body, our energetic body, and our spiritual body. And reconnecting to that and receiving that wisdom from ourselves just lights us up and helps us to understand, wait a minute, I don't have to follow a certain diet. I don't have to exercise a certain way. I actually can do this in a way that is very conducive to who my spirit came here to be. And supporting your body with that information actually allows you to fully step into your power, especially as a woman, and realize that you can live this life very intuitively, taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm. And so something I really am passionate about right now is the energy of this year astrologically is very supportive of the healing of the feminine. I started talking about it at the end of 2021 and just was really talking about how this year was really going to focus on the feminine energy. And we're seeing that. I was thanking Spirit this morning, we're seeing it play out right now with Roe v. Wade happening. And so I want to dive into a little bit is the North and South nodes and how those are impacting us as a collective. So the North and South nodes, as I explained to you just a little bit, are our karmic energy that we're moving through collectively. We each individually have our own North and South node on our birth chart, but the transiting one is the one that affects all of us and impacts how we're moving as a society. So currently we have the North node in Taurus and the South node in Scorpio. So we're seeing literally the South node in Scorpio happen and play out right now. The South node in Scorpio, the South node is really the energy of the karmic release. What energy have we been living in that we no longer need and we need to get rid of in order to move forward into our karmic future, which is the North node. So I kind of explained it as like the dragon doing its tail sweep and like cleaning up whatever energetically is no longer needed. And it's time for it to go so that we can evolve as a society and move forward into this new energy. So we just had a new moon eclipse happen this weekend, which brought in some massive shifts. Then we had Venus move into Aries this week, which is literally, Venus obviously is the feminine sign, it's the feminine archetype, and it moved into the sign of Aries, which is literally the sacred warrior. So we have the South node doing this cleanse of the scorpionic energy, which is literally has to do with sexuality. Scorpio rules all things sex, power. So even with like seeing Russia go after Ukraine, that happened right after the nodes switched. And we're seeing literally like, for lack of better terms, big dick energy starting to play out of that wounding where he's like, but now we're seeing it switch over to the gender, to the sex roles, watching the feminine being attacked once again. And the masculine, the toxic masculine, the oppressive powers that be trying to once again say women are not powerful enough. So then we have Venus, the feminine energy, moving into Aries, the sacred warrior. Supported by her saying it is time to rise as the feminine that we are, healing ourselves and allowing that divine sacred rage to purge this oppression that's weighing down on the feminine. But it's really important that That's the collective energy. It's really important that we take it individual though and say, okay, how do I, because we can choose to get angry over the situation, but that fixes nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What actually fixes? It's healing ourselves. It's healing our own sexual trauma. Because if we heal that, they can't trigger us. They can't take our power.
Yes.
So we're watching that play out. And so reaching out and making sure that we are working with coaches to release that sexual trauma, but then supporting ourselves through nutrition. And this is where I love to come in, and I support it with the birth charts, is understanding how you should be eating through this time to support your body as it moves through this new energy and receives and works through it in a healthy way. Because we want to stay in that light and love of it. That'll continue what we've been in. It won't shift us into this new energy that we truly do desire. We don't want to stay in this place. So really using the astrology of the time to support the body, to support the chakra energy through nutrition, movement, making sure we're moving this energy with intention, but by our specific design. So the way that I come into this and do my specific one-on-one wellness readings is taking this and looking at it and looking at the individual woman's birth chart and saying, okay, this node energy is releasing energy for you. So I'll use myself as an example. The North Node is currently in Taurus in my 8th house, which is the house that, again, is ruling sex. That's the house of Scorpio, so sex, money, debt. It's going to be power. So it's, for me, it's moving into that. It's saying, here's the healthy energy we're moving into. It's luxurious and stable because it's in Taurus. But the South Node is in my 1st house. So it's literally doing a sweep of me as a person. How do I identify? Because that's where Scorpio is for me. So it's really, how do I identify my body within the feminine energy? So I've even changed the way I've been dressing. I've been really like dressing a little more feminine and flowy and not like, because I've been in this phase of hiding myself for the last couple of years of just kind of like deep healing and like, I don't want to be seen. So we're like a lot of baggier, like just don't show my shape clothes. But now as I'm moving into this, I'm supporting the energy by saying, okay, it's time for me to be seen again. Let me show my form. Let me dress more feminine. How do I identify as feminine though?
Yes.
That's what I get to express through my physical body. So that's an example of how it's playing out for me. And so I just take that in each individual reading and allow the woman to understand how it's moving for her. And then the spirit can intuitively guide you into what you need to do versus being like sitting there and going, oh, it's doing this and this. I must do this, this, and this. Yeah. We're beyond that energy. We're moving into how do I intuitively take care of myself? What does my body say? What does my spirit say? There is no master telling me the right or wrong anymore. I am that master. And it's connecting back to that. But it's by knowing our spirit, knowing our soul, and understanding the energy that's moving, how it's individually affecting us, and then allowing that to overflow into the collective.
I just have goosebumps all over because it's just, that's exactly where we're headed right now, is just this working with our individuality and taking away those just, we have to follow this form. And I love how you brought up that, how you're just going into this femininity, you're owning this part, and it's so important, I think, for women to know it's going to show up differently for everybody. Yes. Everybody's not going to think a feminine means wearing high heels and pink, and that's perfect because that's just a small aspect of femininity. There's so much more out there. And when we can claim our own and learn how to be able to intuitively, like you said, live from that place, it's so empowering.
Yeah, and that does come back to your astrology really helps with that too, because understanding your birth chart. So for me, I did feel lost a lot in my femininity because I've explored it in many different ways throughout the years of my life. But understanding my birth chart has really helped me connect with, wait, no, this is how by my soul, this is how it feels best for me to express my femininity. So the way I look at that is I'm a Libra rising. Okay, so Libra is very beautiful. She is very feminine. She's ruled by Venus. So for me, it does feel good to wear a lot of pinks and whites and very feminine flowy colors. But I also, like, my first house, there's a lot of Scorpio energy. So it's very deep, and it's that shamanic energy of like, let me go to the depths of my soul and come back up.
Mm.
Going through my a deep sacred healing journey. Yeah, I straight away, I didn't want to go near those dark colors because that represented the darkness I was feeling inside. I wanted the bright, bright, bright. It's been now that I'm on the other side of my healing that I can go, wait a minute, I can merge the two. It's okay for me to wear, like, I'm literally wearing black pants and a pink shirt right now. I finally was able to start wearing black again because it felt good. But again, my birth chart gave me that support of, yes, this is who I am. It's okay to wear black because I have that depth from all of that Scorpio energy. So it's, yes, it's okay to wear black with your whites and your pinks. It's okay to mix who you are and allow it to blend. And that's the energy we're really sinking into. You know, we've had this massive, the previous nodes were really supporting the healing of the masculine energy, as we saw playing out. The previous president and the way he moved, we saw a lot of that masculine energy being healed. Now we're moving to the feminine. And the whole point in this nodal shifts and this energetic healing is so there can be union in the future. And that's really what we're moving back to is, but first, the union has to happen within us.
Yeah. Yes.
It's really that cusping of our masculine and feminine within us and being able to watch them dance together. So even understanding the fact that my Venus is my chart ruler, so I'm going to watch Venus, what she's doing. But Venus for me on my birth chart is in Capricorn. So the way I also show my feminine is by showing up as a boss, because Capricorn is the boss energy. So making sure that I invest in that as well, and that I'm embodying that in my feminine, because that's part of who I am. Right?
Yes.
It's helped me understand that.
I love it. It's like this astrology is just definitely giving you this roadmap to rediscovering yourself and giving you permission. Like, you know, what I'm getting from is like, it's giving you the permission to be who you are in the deepest sense.
I go into readings, when I do these wellness readings, I really explain to women, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't already know about yourself. What you're going to have are aha moments. All I'm doing is reminding your spirit who you are. But, you know, I grew up in very conservative Christianity, and I looked at the Bible most of my life and was like, this is supposed to be, but I always felt really, really lost because I was like, this just doesn't tell me how to live. Like, it gives me standards that I can't live up to. But, you know, astrology has helped me finally understand it's validated who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like, wait, there is a blueprint, but it's not guiding me toward a savior or toward anyone else. It's guiding me home.
Yes. Yes.
It always brings me back. And that's why we were removed from it for so many years and was taught that it was evil and bad, because if we understood ourselves, we couldn't be controlled.
Yes.
And that's what we're moving back to is, no, let me move back to myself. Now, that doesn't mean that the Bible does not have value. That does not mean that, you know, all of the religious texts don't have value, but they should be read through a different lens in which I am my own savior. I am the divine.
Mm-hmm.
Let me approach it through that lens, and your birth chart, your human design, and understanding how to care for yourself in that way, once again, allows you to shift that lens and really gives you that validation of like, no, I'm not broken. There wasn't something I needed to fix outside of this. I just need to accept who I am and learn how to flow with her. And what does that look like? Well, most of the time, as you know, as a coach, it looks nothing like what we've been told.
Yes. Right. Yes.
It really validates that. And I love that about it. And that's why, you know, I'm so thankful that this is my gift, because being able to empower women to understand how to care for themselves holistically from their birth charts and astrology and human design really does fully empower us in our healing journeys to be the divine vessel, the divine feminine that we came here to express.
Yes. No, that's, when you're speaking, I'm like, you know what? That's actually, I remember being a first time parent, and I'm like, why doesn't this child come with a book? And but we're born with that. That's our astrology. That's our signs. That's our houses, and where everything lives in there. And like, if I had known that, I would have had her chart read, and I'm like, oh, this is how I need to raise you, because in it's not cookie cutter, and that's the divine feminine coming in. It's that intuitiveness, it's the flow, it's not a cookie cutter way of being.
Becoming the healers again.
Yes.
We no longer then need a power over us because we are the power. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you like naturally went that way with it. That's actually one of the offerings that I have that I've really started moving into is working with families. I love working with women. That's my niche and my heart's passion. But I really have realized that working with the mother is what heals the family.
Yeah.
And so I offer these readings to mothers for their whole families. Because like you said, if the mother knows how to guide the children, it's no longer let me mold you, because they're not little blank pieces of something to mold. They came here to express in a certain way. If we understand that and can support that from birth,
Yes.
all of this, we would not be healing right now. We understood that. And, honestly, it's going back to ancient ways, back in ancient Indian times, because, most of astrology comes from India, and that area. And in most ancient India, they actually did. You never left the health, like you did not leave the hospital with your child unless you had a birth chart. Like they gave you the blueprint for your child when you left the hospital. We stopped doing that because, well, again,
yeah,
strategies that be, that's a whole other big long conversation. But yeah, so being able to connect this back to the family and understand like this is who your child, and I can tell you, just going in and doing the readings for these families creates this ripple of healing. The children aren't even present for them most of the times because they can't sit there and they don't understand. But giving information to the parents, even before they completely start to integrate, shifts the energy of the whole home, where they naturally start to move that way. And I've seen it, like I've been working in home with families as their health coach, and I'm watching the power of it. And the understanding and shift that happens is just so dynamic and so beautiful. It's definitely something that's divine.
Yes. I think that would save so many trips to, family counselors and, child, psychiatrists and stuff. And just if a child grows up in a family, they feel understood and seen, that's
Yes.
miraculous.
And that's really what we're moving into. The new earth that we're birthing out right now and the new golden era is really going to be one like this, where spirit has given me, like, I knew literally at the age of 9, I was writing in my diary how I couldn't wait to grow up because I was going to work with food and nutrition and live healthy. And so I'm so thankful because spirit gave me from such an early age the mission of you're bringing in new healthcare to the planet. And that really is what we're moving into. It's no longer this power over us, but power within, and understanding ourselves on a soul level. So we no longer have to live confused in our bodies and disconnected. And so it really is so, so powerful. And I'm so thankful that we're moving toward this so that we can really, like I said, it's time to heal. It's just time to heal. And yes, to be able to understand like the levels of trauma that won't be experienced by these coming generations, how free they're going to be, it's really beautiful. And that is actually what my heart's desire is, and why I'm trying to get my mission out, is I want more women to understand, women, if you're pregnant, as soon as you give birth, reach out to me. I would love to do a reading for your child right off the bat.
Yeah.
Starting with the mother, I would love to reach as many women as possible with doing these wellness readings so that the mother can understand herself and how that healing herself and let that ripple out. But then once those mothers know, I want every child to be born with their birth chart reading, so that the parents can understand how to help them really nurture them holistically into living what their soul came here to express.
Yeah. I think that's why we were drawn together, because one of the reasons I got into the work I do is because of this intuitive download that I received of that women need to start doing their own healing in their womb space, where that gestation of new life begins. So it's a beautiful, clean container for, just like these souls are coming in, they're high vibration souls coming in now, and they have to get down to work. They have to get into
I love that you're saying that, because that's actually my own healing journey that I know I've been on for the last 3 years. I've been healing my own womb space, and that's another story. But I actually have had a tubal ligation. I've never had children. I always said I'm never having children. I don't want to have children. No desire. You look at once I looked at my birth chart, I'm literally on this planet to do nothing but mothering and nurturing. and going to the depths. Like it's literally shamanism and mother. That's it. And so once I realized that, I was like, oh wait, and started to do my own womb healing and connecting into that sacred energy. Now that's what I'm doing. It's the same thing. It's cleaning up the vessel, because I know I've already communicated with my daughter. She's told me when she's coming. It's, mom, you have this amount of time. You have to be ready for me. Because, like you just said, they are powerful light beings who are really going to heal and clean up the planet in this next evolution. And they only want to come through healed and ready vessels.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They do not desire, and I just got full white tingles. She's like,
too.
They do not want to come through having to deal with the things that we have. They do not want IBS. They do not want diabetes. They do not want blood pressure. All of these traumatic things that we're carrying by choice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want them. And they're literally repulsing them to the point where they're saying, you either heal or I'm not going to come. Like they're powerful and they can do that. And so it's making sure that we are ready, because they need to come. And our planet, Mother Earth, needs us to be birthing out life that is powerful and beautiful and healing.
Yes. Oh, let's end on that beautiful note of this beautiful new earth coming from the sacred vessels of woman.
From our healed wombs. That is where they're coming from. And that is where this new life is being birthed. It's from us. Yeah. This is our opportunity, and we're supported by it.
And you know what? That's why I came here. You know, if you're a woman coming into your childbearing years, this is why you're here, and this is your time to do your work, and be the vessel that these beautiful children need to have. Also
restructuring what those childbearing years are, because I will say I'm almost 40.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's the time when your body is ready. I think whenever that is. Yes. Exactly. Wow. Wow. Yes. Powerful. So how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah. So you can, obviously social medias are what most of us do, right? You can follow me on Facebook. It's Empowered Living, or you can follow me. It's Empowered with Shela is the Facebook handle. I believe it's facebook.com/empowered with Shela. And then on Instagram, it's at empowered_Shela. And then my website is Empowered with Shela. So there's no I in Shela either, just so everyone knows. It's SHELA. Very medical hippie parents. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me that way. Shoot me a message through any of those socials, and I will get back with you, and love to schedule readings for either you, your family, your future little ones coming through.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Shela. I loved this discussion, and I love to have you on some more, because I mean, my God, we almost talked for 30 minutes.
Dive into all the things.
Yeah, there's so much. I'm like, that wasn't going to happen in 10 minutes.
I really appreciate this space and this opportunity. It's been a blessing to be able to channel through some messages for the feminine.
Yeah, thank you. And you're here in Austin, right?
I am here in Austin. Yes, I am now local to Austin. Moved here a few months ago.
Beautiful. Welcome. All right, my love. Thank you for being here, and I'll actually put all your stuff down in the comments of the video when it's on there. So
that's great. Happy day of Mercury, everyone.
Yes, take care. All right.